Hi everyone, this is Alert Day Trading. The purpose of this video and the videos I make is to journal my trades, journal my thoughts, notice any mistakes I'm making, try to duplicate good behaviors that I'm doing while I'm trading. And I just wanted to journal the trades I made today, and the most recent one being MBOT. And if you see, MBOT was pushing up higher, kind of consolidating around this right below the $8 mark, and I noticed it got alerted. I got alerted after it broke above this 850 mark, and then so I waited for the pullback, and my first entry was on a 1 minute chart, and I entered right here. So when I first started paying attention to it, it had this nice run up right here, and had this little pullback here. I entered the trade, and I was able to get a move all the way up to 913s. And so it was a small gain, nothing big. And I just broke, I scaled out as it broke $9, or as it approached the $9. And since it didn't go any higher, I ended up selling out of a break even for the rest of my position. And then, so I follow the 3 minute and the 5 minute charts. So the 3 minute I wasn't crazy about. So this is the pullback on the 3 minute chart. The 5 minute chart I think was cleaner. As you can see, nice lower highs for the pullback, some consolidation, the candle not making a new low, and so I went in at the 5 minute candle as it broke above this candle right here, and this was a nice trade. Entry around 880s, and the highs hitting around 980s, so that's about a whole dollar. It's pretty good risk to reward. So here we have 880s, and the lows, my stop loss being around 830, so that's about 50 cents. So 1 to 2 risk to reward ratio. I see this as a really good trade for it being Friday and just before the lunchtime hours. So I think that's a really good trade considering the time of day. And I did take another trade. Took multiple trades today. I took a loss on CHK. My first trade was a winner on the 1 minute chart. I took a trade right here. So I had the pullback at the open, and then had this push up higher, and then ended up, I think, selling out completely at the low of this candle, or possibly even the EMA. Maybe half here and half here, as well as scaling out on the ride up. And then I took a loss. It was a 3 minute candle, 3 minute chart. The loss was around here. It came in, pretty sure it was right here. And then, as you can see, it didn't push any higher up. I guess the mistake here would be that the new high, which is, so this was the first high. The second high was here, but if you see, it was on less volume. So that's a negative signal. So I still went in the trade anyway, so that would be my mistake. Try to not create that mistake again. And even if the trade does go higher, the thing to do here would be to maybe create some kind of statistic on how often does the stock go higher after a second high, but with less volume from the first high. So that'd be interesting to start doing. So just writing a note about that. New high, less volume. How often does there a continuation? So if it happens more than, let's say, 50% of the time, then it might be worthwhile to take that trade. If it happens less than 50% of the time, it's better to pass on it. And even if it does shoot up, you know that the majority of the time it's not going to work out, so the risk is not in your favor. I took another trade, OSTK, and I started with the 3-minute here. I could have done the 5-minute, but I missed out on adding my size, and I went into the trade right here. So I saw that it was in a range and broke above this high right here, and the pullback held, around this level right here. And so when the price broke above this high, I got interested and pushed from the risk to reward. 950s with my purchase, 930s, 920s would be my stop loss, and we went all the way up to about 990. So not the best risk to return on this trade. I was hoping for the 10s, which would have been about just under 1 to 2 risk to reward. But I thought there was potential for even more. The volume was at its high over here, so still really good volume right here. And I'm just connecting the highs of the volume here. You can see it's good volume, but the volume did not continue, so that increases my want to scale out. Again, it's Friday. Can't be too greedy, especially on a Friday. Can't be greedy any day, but so it's important to be really strict on your scaling out. And my scale outs are usually every risk. So if I'm risking, if I'm purchasing in the 950s, risk to reward is 930s. So that's about 20 to 25 cent risk to reward. And so my scale out would be in the 970s. So 25 cent gain right there. And then I also scale out anytime the price breaks a low of a previous candle, or it breaks below the EMA, or break even. So all these levels are good, I think, levels to scale out. Anyway, the point of this video as far as risk management comes into play is, especially with a Friday trading day, I think you have to be extra strict in general, but especially on a Friday. And not to be too greedy if you are going to take trades on Fridays. And something that I'm focusing on right now is scaling up my trades, so increasing size. And so I have a threshold of trades. If you look at this trade, actually it's up to $10. So my stop loss over here was never reached, but like I said, it's Friday, so I'm stricter on my rules. And so yeah, it's making a nice move up, but the volume is down, so it's just a lot of negative signals here, even though price is increasing. So anyway, risk management, and I have a certain amount of trades that I want to make before I increase my size. And because what happens, I think, is we make some good trades and we think, oh, we've got the hang of it, so let's increase our size. But then the moment you start to increase your size, you might get a run of losers, and you start to become, I think, emotional. And I noticed that happened with me. So I increased my position sizing too quickly. And so I figured, let's come up with a number of a certain amount of trades, regardless how well you're doing, before increasing size. And I think it'll allow the run of losers to pass and keep you in a positive streak. So basically, before increasing size, I think you need to have enough trades at that level of risk that you're accepting. And once you notice that your trading system works, then increase your size. But don't increase your size just because you've had some winners under your belt. Increasing size only after a certain number of trades that you're okay with, and having a good statistic, having good statistics of your trading system. So a combination of good statistics and a good number of trades before increasing size. I think that's really important. So anyway, I hope this video is helpful, but again, I just want to remind you the videos I'm creating are for me to talk about my thoughts, journal my trades, and notice any mistakes I'm making. And if I'm, having good behaviors, definitely want to duplicate those. So good luck, and if you have any questions, let me know. Again, this is just to journal my trades, not to give you any advice. And I hope you're all doing well, and good luck.